We have understood DNS in the previous video. In this video, let us try to understand TLD more, because this is the part people usually hear, but not many people understand this well. So in this video, let us understand it deeply. So by the end of this video, you will really understand what TLD are, who owns them, why .com belongs to Verisign, why .in belongs to NIXI, and what exactly a TLD server stores and how it guides DNS resolution. So let's unpack it layer by layer. So first, what is TLD? So TLD is top level domain. If you log into your system and try to access Chrome, right, with, for example, you are trying www.google.com. Okay, so this is the URL which you are trying. So the last part of this URL is TLD. So it will be Amazon.in, Amazon.com, gov.uk, .net, .edu. All these are the top level domains. They are called TLDs. So TLDs represent the highest level in the DNS hierarchy. Correct. So we have seen root. If we start in the DNS hierarchy from root, then first will come TLD. It will be .com, .in, .edu, etc. Then second level will come like google.com, right? So Google will come, Amazon, Netflix, etc. Third will be in the domain name is www.mail.gmail.com, correct? Mail.google.com, mail.rediffmail.com. So all these are the host names. If you decode any URL, right, the first is a host names, middle is a second level domains, and third one, which is the last one, is a TLD, and this entire thing is your complete URL. So now let's try to understand who controls these TLDs. So we have seen we have a TLD like .com, .edu, .net, .in, .uk, and whatnot. We have lot many, right? So who controls them? Because there are a lot of .com sites, there are a lot of .edu sites, so somebody needs to manage them, right? So who controls them? So the entity which controls them is registry operator. This is a company or organization that manages the entire TLD. So if I want to give you a quick glimpse of how the management, what are the companies who manages them, then let me put this screenshot for you. .com is managed by Verisign. .net is also managed by them. .in is managed by NIXI, that is the National Internet Exchange of India. .org is managed by PIR, Public Interest Registry. EDU, all EDU websites are managed by EduCause, which is a US education. Then .gov is managed by US government. So .com, Verisign is a private run company by private US corporation. Private US corp, Verisign. And .in is an Indian government backed organization. It's an Indian government backed. back organization. Now, why this registry operator matters? What roles they actually play, right? If you can ask, it's simply a names, right? So why they matter? Because they maintain the official database of which DNS server handles which domain. So they basically maintain the database, official database, that too. Okay, official database. Now this database looks something like this. Let us try to put it. For .com, for example, if we take for .com, it will look like this. Now it will have google.com is managed by DNS.google. Microsoft.com is managed by NS1 MSFT.net. Flipkart, for example, Flipkart.com is managed by ns1.p29.dynect.net. So this is the kind of database which they manage. One thing which you should note is they doesn't manage the IP. They doesn't store the IP. Does not store IP. They directly store the mapping in the form of names, dns.go. So whenever any query comes from google.com, it will redirect, it will give dns.google.com. If anything coming from microsoft.com, then it will give ns1.msft.net. So what are these? You also can ask, right? So what are these servers actually? So these are authoritative server. These are the authoritative servers of those companies. Okay. So every company, now for example, Google has a lot of servers, right? They serve a lot of applications, websites and whatnot. So they have their own servers. So all these servers is managed by this dns.google.com. Okay, so dns.google.com knows about each and every server under the Google umbrella. So as soon as the request comes for google.com, right, it will redirect it to dns.google. Now dns.google will figure it out which server the request needs to be routed under the Google umbrella. As per that, it will route. So if you try to understand the complete flow, right, then the flow will look something like this. Okay, so user will hit google.com. So we have seen, right, as soon as the user type google.com, the router doesn't know about the google.com. So router will send it to the DNS resolver to get the IP of google.com. Okay, so consider it as a DNS resolver, and DNS resolvers are recursive. We have seen, right? So they act as a middleman and get us the IP. So what happens is these DNS resolvers take it to the root server, root DNS servers. We have seen there are 13 root DNS server. So what happens is as soon as the request comes to root DNS server, then it will figure it out. Okay, request is for .com, then send it to TLD of .com server. So this is the TLD server, TLD of .com server. Now this TLD server will answer who is the authoritative DNS server of google.com. So TLD will give them the response saying that for Google, the authoritative server is ns1.google.com. Okay, or ns2.google.com. Then resolver goes to the Google authoritative server. This is the authoritative server. These are the servers. It will come here and then this server will return the final IP, that is 142.251.46.78, for example. This IP will be written. This is how you will get the IP for google.com. So if you understand, Verisign doesn't give IP. The TLD server of .com, which is managed by Verisign, they doesn't give the IP. They redirected the request or DNS resolver, DNS recursive resolver to authoritative server of google.com, and authoritative server of google.com is then returning the IP. Correct? So this way IP will be coming back here. So let us quickly take the another example of IRCTC. Okay. So which is a Indian Railway website. Okay. So how it happens? As soon as user opens IRCTC, it will go to its router. Router doesn't know IP. So it will go to the recursive resolver, recursive DNS resolver. Recursive DNS resolver will reach out to the root server. Correct. It will reach out to the root server. It will ask who manages the .in registry. Correct. Who manages the list of all the .in servers? Who is the TLD of .in servers? So root server will respond with the TLD of .in. Okay. So this is managed. This is a server of NIXI. We have seen, right? The .in registry is managed by NIXI. So this .in registry will maintain a record for IRCTC .in, the DNS.irctc.net, for example. This is the mapping. So it maintains the authoritative servers. Now TLD will respond with authoritative server of IRCTC. Authoritative server, and then authoritative server will return back the IP, for example 142.168.72.46. it will return, and then this IP will go back to the user. So this is the way it happens for IRCTC. Okay, I have taken this example because this is an example of .in. So what exactly TLD server stores? TLD servers basically stores the authoritative server information or authoritative DNS server information for that particular domain. For example, google.com. What is the authoritative DNS server for google.com? It will store. Then netflix.com. What is the authoritative server of that netflix.com? It will store. But it never stores the IP. Okay. It doesn't respond with the IP of the exact site. Now, obviously, the question is, why do we separated all these TLDs, or why do we have TLDs? Now, just imagine that if there is a single server, DNS server, for example, who is managing all the website information line by line database. Now just think of, if there is some problem happens here, now your entire internet will be down because nobody able to find the route only. Correct? So entire internet can be down. And just think of, if we have a billions of website updating every day, every minute, every second, this database needs to be updated frequently, and it can cause a performance issue. Correct? So to avoid this, the TLD system comes into a picture. So what all are the benefits of TLD? What it gives is, it gives a global scaling. Tomorrow, if you want to add any extra TLD, just add an extra server, DNS server, and you are done. Okay. It also given the delegation of responsibility. Now, okay, you are with .in. There is a website, there is a company NIXI who needs to manage it. All their requests will be managed by NIXI. Okay, you are coming for .com, then Verisign is the responsible entity for that. So delegation of responsibility happens here. Then decentralization. We have seen, right? Not the single entity managing all. So fast update. Since it's a smaller entities, right? The updation will be faster instead of one entity managing everything. And you have a government control. For example, .in is for India, .uk for UK, right? So government can control this. So all these are the benefits of using TLD. Now obvious question will come into mind. Now why only Verisign? Correct? Why .com will be given to only Verisign? So why does .com belongs to Verisign? Obvious question will come. Because the US government, US has a upper hand in internet, right? So US government originally awarded .com, .net, .edu to network solutions, which later renamed to Verisign. So .com is essentially a corporation managed global namespace. Now why .in is given to NIXI, belongs to NIXI? Because country TLDs .in, .uk, .jp for Japan, .au for Australia are allocated to national registries to maintain the sovereignty of that country. So this is all about the TLD. So let's try to revise what are those. So TLD is the last part of your URL. Those are operated by registries. Those are the companies who manages them. They map actually domain to authoritative DNS mapping, and they doesn't hold IP addresses. .com is commercial and is run by Verisign, and .in is a country specific and run by NIXI. Correct? So all these are the things which we have seen in this video. If you like this video, do share, subscribe and tell your friend about my channel. It will help me a lot.